Hello, fellow chopperoos, and welcome to another episode of What Are You Doing? The channel where we're showing not only what we're doing in the shop, but what you guys are doing in your shop as well. This is where we show projects in progress, and it's a way to hold ourselves accountable to make sure when we start something, we finish it. Also, we want to encourage and motivate people. So, let's get right into it. A regular on the show, Tim Charles, he made some bookends this week. And Tom Pratchett, I hope I said your name right, Tom. He's new to the show. He made a cabinet that looks like a pie safe, and he did it with some inset doors, which is not easy to do, but it looked really nice. Tim Adeline, another regular. Tim's working on restoring some old windows out of a house that's like 1920. Now, I'm not sure if it's his house or a customer's house, but either way, doing restoration work, that's a tough thing to do. Ted Burisa, hopefully I got your name right, Ted. Ted made a plant stand, and he's got like the ball and claw foot on it, like you would see on a Chippendale style. That's not easy to do, so apparently Ted's always up for a challenge. Philip Quinn made a cute little end table, or maybe it's a nightstand, but either way, it really looks nice. Good job on that, Philip. Paul Byland, he's been another that's posted on the show. He did like a cherry-turned plate. And I got to say, when it comes to turning, I only use the lathe when the job requires it. So anyone who's good at turning, I truly admire. Fritz Van Drome. Hopefully I got your name right, Fritz. Fritz is new to the show. And Fritz made like a shaker-style, like lap letter box. It's a very historical-looking piece. And Fritz said this is his first project. Now, I don't know if it's his first project for our show or his first project ever, but I mean, it's really nice. It's got dovetail joints on it and everything. So, Fritz, you are definitely in a class of your own if it's your first. Dale Weinke. Dale's a good buddy of mine. We've done some other shows together, and now Dale's posting on this show as well. Dale made a nice little toy shelf for his kid, and apparently his kid is really into collecting like these monster truck cars or whatever, but crap, I remember. Dan, do you remember the Matchbox cars?
Yeah, I remember them.
I mean, that's what I collected. I don't even know if they're still around anymore, but apparently monster trucks are the thing to collect now.
I used to run them out my upstairs window.
Jay Spencer finished up a large cabinet that he's been working on. I think he's probably doing a sigh of relief that one's done. And Kevin Delk, this guy's been busy. He made a guitar rack this week. He made this really nice looking bookcase with a couple of raised panel doors at the bottom. I just really love everything about it. The proportions and everything are just right on this thing. It's just great. And then Rob Appelman made a nice dovetailed box. And speaking of Rob is our video spotlight of the week. Now, Rob has his channel on YouTube. He also has his website. It's called Rob's Workshop. And Rob is actually out of the Netherlands. And Rob's been doing woodworking for 5 years. And his first tools he got from his dad. And he still uses them on the show. So that's kind of cool and everything. Rob actually at one time tried to start a woodworking magazine in Dutch. Because, well, there just wasn't any over there. I gotta say, man, that's a serious task to take on. I mean, good job for him trying that. I don't think he got it fully off the ground. In fact, he's talking about maybe doing an online version of it now. But, man, that's awesome what Rob's doing there. Rob has a great quote, and I think this really sums it up perfect. He had this in an email to me. He said, "It's a great feeling when you make something with your hands. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you made it." You know, and I think that's exactly what this is all about. We're not here to judge anyone. We're not competing with anyone. There's always someone better than us, and there's always someone we can learn from. But the fact that we made it with our own hands, that is something great. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put Rob's YouTube link below and his website below. And if we want, let's go over and take a look at his stuff, subscribe to his show. And I got to say, you guys are awesome. Because last week we did our very first Spotlight Viewer of the Week, which was Andy over at the Hand Toolery. And I had just talked with Andy, and he had more subscribers in 1 week than he ever did in a whole month. So you guys are fantastic. So let's do the same thing for Rob. Let's show Rob some wood chopping time love. Subscribe to his channel, and let's encourage him as well as others. Okay, so that's what you guys are up to this past week. Here's what we've been doing. As I mentioned last week, we probably weren't going to spend a whole lot of time in the shop. I've got a customer, I've had him a long, long time. He called us up, asked to do a little bit of framing a couple of walls, and then, it's really turned into everything now, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Drywall, doors, windows. I have a feeling we're probably going to do most of the build out on this, but at any rate, we're still trying to get stuff done in the shop. I also met with a friend of mine this past week, Scott Midgley, and Scott's been a custom furniture maker for 25 years. He has a shop not far from me. He lives up in Ottawa Lake, Michigan there. And Scott's been not only doing furniture, but he teaches classes, power tool classes, in fact, building stuff with power tool. And Scott approached me and said, hey, what do you think about maybe doing some hand tool classes? Do you think there's any interest there? So I told him definitely. I teach only hand tool classes. I teach at the Sam Buford School. I teach at the Woodcraft stores. And Scott and I are talking about possibly doing some classes. So if you live in southeastern Michigan or northwestern Ohio and you're interested in some classes, again, I'll put Scott's website below if you want to talk to him or if you want to talk to me. I'll give you more updates as we try and develop stuff, but some classes would be fun to do. So let's see what else we got going. Okay, so speaking of the hand tools, last video was the hand tool only step stool. And again, thank you guys for watching and commenting. And I tried to do in the video a couple of things. One, I had been waiting for a new intro to be done on my show. And actually, my brother was going to put the intro together. And I just got impatient. So I just downloaded one off the internet. And apparently some others use that intro as well. And I don't want to be accused of ripping anyone off or stealing from anyone. So it was brought to my attention. And my brother, oddly enough, the same day my brother finished my intro. So I just need to be a little bit more patient. But at any rate, I'm going to roll the new intro for you now. Okay, so that's the new intro, and like I said, my brother put that together. He's over there at toddproductions.com, and actually my brother threw a suggestion out, so I'll throw it to you guys. My brother, for a living, does websites, logos, cards, intros, and we're all about trying to brand ourselves, trying to stand out. If you're looking for a little bit of help in this field, go ahead and contact him. If you use our names, he said he'll give you 10% off on anything that you want to do.
Chad, how much does it cost for an intro or like maybe a logo?
I really can't speak for him. I mean, that's a good question, but it's kind of like if someone came to me and said, Chad, how much is your furniture? Am I building a table or am I building an entertainment center? Okay. So if you guys have questions on that, go ahead and reach out to him. He'll be glad to answer any questions for you and quote your price on it. But, I think you'll be really, really happy with the quality of the work. So, let's see, then what else we got on the list? Okay, so questions of the week. We had some questions this week. My question I asked you last week, did you want fast or slow videos? And, You guys really throw it at me. 29% of you said you wanted it fast. 28% of you said you wanted it slow. And 43% of you said you wanted both. And I had a lot of great comments from folks. Some were saying, do the fast video on YouTube, and then over on the website, do a slower, in-depth video of all the details. That's something I'm considering. But in the meantime, what I was kind of thinking about doing was, for a full project video, doing it fast, like the step stool, but then go back, or maybe before I release the fast video, anyway, doing like a small quick tip, which would focus on something specific so you could really get the detail, but then, skip over some of the boring stuff. So I'm trying to refine that and give you guys everything, but keep in mind, these longer videos, most people like the fast stuff, and, at any rate, we'll work through it. We'll make something happen. Some other questions of the week that came in. Jonathan Sr. asked, what's the best way to contact me? My answer to that is, please don't touch me. Make zero contact with me. But if you would like to reach out to me and talk to me on something, feel free to email me at stantonfinefurniture@gmail.com. Ask me any questions you have, woodworking related, need some help, or if you have some questions on your videos or anything. And if you want to be our viewer spotlight of the week, email me at that same address. Tell me what it is that you like to do, you're specialized in, a little bit background about you, what goals you're trying to achieve. And then I just ask that you be patient, because I do take them in orders, first come, first serve. But at any rate, if you want to be a spotlight of the week, go ahead and email me there. Dan Douglas asked me, how do I price my projects? Honestly, Dan, if it's a project for me, I don't sell them, I keep them. But for my customers, how do I price the furniture for my customers? That's a good question. So I'm going to put 2 links below for you, Dan. One is the hardest thing to do in woodworking, which is really all about pricing your work. And the second one is, should you be a full-time professional woodworker? That kind of tells you about the area that you live in, if selling your furniture or your projects, if that's right for you, because that can be difficult. Let's see, Ian Johnson. Ian had a question for you.
For me?
Yeah, because remember, you said you're open to anything. Man, okay, so here we go. Are you an advocate for the Second Amendment?
Yeah, I think everybody should own a gun. I don't think you should be able to own like a bazooka or a tank or anything. But
so I got to get rid of my tank?
yes, I told you that before.
I will get to work faster. All right, so there's that. We're going to get tons of comments on this one.
It is what it is.
Someone's going to be like, Dan, I'm keeping my bazooka. All right, so that's your guys' questions for the week. I'll give you my question of the week in a second, but I mentioned that we were out of the shop most of the week doing some construction, but I did manage to finally finish the wine station here. So you can see I've got the glasses and some bottles in it. This wine station was made to fit the New Air wine fridge, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, it has dual stations for your white or red wine. I'm really not a wine guy, so I don't know. But this whole thing was made to fit the New Air wine fridge. And of course, then on top, I have the corks in it that just make it kind of look artsy and cool. And then it's got a place to hold your coasters, your corkscrew tool. All in all, pretty cool project. So, what I plan on doing with this is, yes, I did film everything on this. I filmed all the detailed steps, the complete build. Now, if I put all of that out, it's going to be a long, long video. So what I'm thinking about doing is the quick tips that show you specific details. For instance, although the top of this is a rectangle and it is mitered in the corners, it is not a 45-degree miter. You're probably wondering why. I'll show the video on that in a few weeks. But that would be like a quick tip as itself. And then, you know, I'm thinking there's probably going to be like 3 or 4 quick tips all related to this project. And then I could do the whole build, which would be everything fast. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Tell me what you guys think. But the big question I have is, the big question of the week is, a few people have asked me if I'm going to make plans available for this. And the last couple of videos back, I did the world's, I don't know, best, cheapest vise for your bench. I forget what I titled it. And I did have plans on the website for that. They were like $2.50. And a lot of you have bought the plans. So thank you for that. I am thinking about doing plans for this. I'm selling it at a reasonable price, like $3, maybe $4 for it. But I would like to know from you, would you be willing to pay $3 or $4 for plans for this? Be honest with me, because if you think not, then I won't bother to do it. This is where I need your help. So that's my question of the week. Would you like to see plans on it? Well, I think that about brings us up to date on everything that we're doing in the shop, everything that you guys are doing. Of course, if you like this video, please leave your comments, subscribe, share it with friends, get others involved. Let's bring them all in here. I answer all your comments, I answer all your emails, because I want you to do better as a woodworker. All right, until next week, on behalf of myself and Safety Dan, go dance now, people.